There is something so satisfying about an organized closet, and honestly, they just function better whenever you can see everything and they are tidy and orderly. So today I am sharing my top closet organizational finds, as well as some useful tools and gadgets for your clothing. The beautiful thing about this list is that pretty much everything works no matter the size of your closet. There might be one or two things that will depend on how much depth or space you have. And there might be some things that I put on a shelf within my closet, but if you don't have that, they would certainly work on top of a dresser as well. Everything's gonna be linked in the description below. Let's get to it. The first item on this list is what I would just refer to as the bar puller out thingy. Turns out it actually has a name. It's called a Valet Rod. And these are really nice to install in a closet, or you can even do the back of a door. But what it is a rod that, when you don't need it, you push it in, you don't see it, but when you do, you pull it out and you can hang clothes on it, whether you're hanging something out for the next day that you want to wear, or maybe a dress or something that you want the wrinkles to fall out of. Or how I love to use it is whenever I'm steaming a garment, I will hang it on there so I can be hands-free and have both hands to steam. So if you've never used a Valet Rod, they really are handy. Now, I shared this next one in a previous closet organization video that I did, and these are not going to be for everybody, but if you have the space, they really do make a difference. And it is these pull-out racks that I use for jeans, but you could honestly use them for any clothing. And they're so easy to install. Trust me, if we could do it, anybody can. And it really just eliminates the bar going across, and then this way you store things going deep. So obviously you need to have the room to be able to do this. And depending on how many items you have, I find that I get a little bit more storage room taking advantage of the depth versus everything just going across with the bar, but it's gonna come down to your space and how many items you have. But it gives sort of like a boutique style look. I like that when they're pushed in, you only see really, you see all of them, but you really only see the front pair versus all of them lined up. So personal preference, but this is definitely a little upgrade that I think makes a big difference in a closet. And then speaking of jeans, number 3 are S-hooks. This is another way that you could hang jeans if you don't wanna fold them and put them on a shelf, or you don't wanna hang them on hangers, because sometimes folding them over a hanger can take up more space. So I love an S-hook because they look so uniform, it looks so nice, but also it makes them really easy to retrieve, it lines them up, and you can easily see and access all of your pants. Number 4, let's talk hangers. This is one of my favorite organizing hacks for the closet, and that is to consider using a baby hanger or a kid hanger versus a regular hanger for things like your pants or tank tops. And the reason being is that when you fold pants over there, or you hang a tank top or something on regular size hangers, you're left with so much excess hangers sticking out on the sides. With the baby hangers or the kid hangers, you don't have that problem. So it's just a better look in the closet, less hangers sticking out. And then speaking of hangers, number 5, these gold metal hangers. I just love the look of these. I feel like they're very chic. I wouldn't necessarily use these for every item in my closet. A, that would get a little expensive. B, they do take up a little more room than the flat velvet hangers, which I prefer. But where I love the gold ones are inside of our linen closet or in our mud room. Just a nice little added touch. They just look a little classier than regular hangers. Another hanger I love, number 6, this rolly hanger. What's great about this is, first of all, it holds multiple things. So one hanger for several items. It's great for hats, bags, scarves, accessories like that. But then if you need something in the middle, you don't have to remove everything in the front or the back to get to the item in the middle that you want. You simply spin it around, get the little lever or the opening to your item, open it up and grab what you need. Everything else can stay in place. Number 7 are these wall hooks. And what I love about these is that they really maximize the space in a closet because they allow us to make use of wall space or back of doors. They come a couple to a pack. They are just adhesive stick. They stick right on, and they are perfect for hats, handbags, scarves, and accessories. Number 8 is definitely gonna be perfect if you are short on space, and that is this pack of these little hooks that slide over a hanger so that you can layer another item in front of it. It'll go a little lower. So this way you're taking up less room on the bar. You're essentially only hanging one hanger now versus 2. So it's gonna really help maximize your hanging space. Okay, that's probably all I can say about hanging things. We've probably exhausted the topic of hangers. Number 9, let's talk accessories. So I like a couple different things here, but one, this little accessories tower to hold belts. This could also work for scrunchies or headbands, but I love love that it's one tower, but then they're individual little compartments. So if you need the one on the bottom, you can just lift the ones on top. The lids are magnetic. It's clear so you can see what's inside. And these work perfect if you have a shelf inside of your closet. And if not, they would also work on top of a dresser. And then number 10 are two other accessory holders I love. There's one here for glasses or sunglasses, and then one for headbands. So this is a way to sort of organize them, but also display them. So it's sort of like functional closet decor, if you will. And again, if you don't have room in your closet per se, maybe you don't have a shelf like I have here, these would also work on top of a dresser or a vanity. And then speaking of displaying, number 11 are these little display towers for your handbags. I love these because they're adjustable. So if you have a short handbag, you can just keep them short, but they extend pretty tall if you have a taller one. But it's a really good way to just be able to store your handbags so that you can see them, but then display them in a pretty way too. Another option for handbags, number 12, these clear bins. I absolutely love these. A, they protect your bags from dust, and you don't have to just do handbags. You could really put anything in these, but I love them for handbags. But it's gonna protect from dust, and then also it's clear so you can see what's inside. And I really love that they open in the front, so all you do is unfold the little door, take the bag in and out or whatever you have in there, and then close it back up. They're really easy to put together, and they come several to a pack. Number 12 is another great way just to gain a little bit of extra hanging space, and not necessarily permanently, but if you need to hang something to steam it, or you have extra coats or something that you need to hang, and it's an over-the-door hanging rack. I love this one because it just lays flat against the door when you're not using it, and then it pops right open. You can hang several items on here, so if you didn't want to install the Valet Rod, this is another great option, and you could just leave it on the back of the door, or you can remove it whenever you're not using it. I first got this because we have limited coat hanging space in our home, so when we would have guests over, there was nowhere to hang their coats. This way, I just pop this on the back of the door, and I can hang up their items, or I could use it if I'm steaming. And then there's another option here too. I will link both in the description below. Same idea, and it's just gonna go over your door. This comes in a pack of 2, and then it has the piece that pulls out or pushes in, and then you can hang multiple things on it. So either way, these are really good to have on hand just for a little extra hanging space. Now, number 14 isn't necessarily something you might have in your closet, although you could if you have a ton of room. We have ours outside of our laundry room. This is a drying rack, but it secures to the wall. For years, I just had those loose drying racks that you had to like prop up, and then, they collapse flat, and those are all well and good. I still have that, and I like that, but I love this one that just goes right on the wall. Again, this option has little knobs, so you can hang coats on it, or umbrellas, or just various things, purses, whatever. But then it opens up and expands and then becomes a drying rack. But I love that you can fold it flat when it's not in use. Now, these come in different sizes. We went for the smallest one just because we only had so much space on this little wall that I wanted to put it on, but they do make really large ones as well. So this could be a really nice addition to a laundry room. Number 15 is definitely not going to be needed for everybody, but if you have a tall closet and you are short like me, I can never get to the upper space, and of course that's where I keep my handbags or travel accessories. So I got this collapsible ladder. I absolutely love this thing. It does come in different heights, but I love this because I can just store it next to, dresses or coats on the one side. It's out of sight, you can't see it, but then when I need it, it's very easy to just take out, pop open, and use quickly, and then put back. So if you have any tall space in your closets that are hard to get to, this is a really nice ladder to have on hand. And then these last 3 items are my tried and true favorite tools and gadgets for clothing. First up, number 16 being steamers. I have 2 that I absolutely love and swear by. So long gone are the days of needing an ironing board and an iron that just take up a ton of room. Steamers are the way to go. They work fast, they are compact, and they're great for travel. So the first one here is just your traditional steamer. Fill it with water, plug it in. This is gonna heat up in 30 seconds. And what I love is, unlike a lot of other steamers that once they heat up, they are just spewing out the steam, and you sort of have to work quickly, right? With this one, the steam only comes out when you push the button. So that way steam is not coming out of it when you're in between garments, right? So I love that about this one, but also what I love is that it works horizontally or vertically. And with a lot of them, they work vertically, but the second you tip it horizontal, it will drip water on your garment, which is not ideal if you're trying to steam and then get out of the door quickly. So this way, you're good to go, and it works so fast. You see this wrinkled shirt here in this video where it goes from really wrinkled to not wrinkled. That was in 2 minutes time. So love this one. It's really affordable, and like I said, great for travel too. And then the next one is this one that uses suction. So I actually don't love the steamer aspect of this because the water chamber is very small, and if you just use it as a steamer, the water, it just evaporates way too quickly. So if you only want a regular steamer, I would do the previous one I just mentioned. But where this one is really nice is it has this suction feature, and it's not strong, it's just a light little suction that draws the fabric to it. So it acts more like an iron. And so this one is gonna work really quickly. And I mean, on all fabrics, it's great for pants that are wrinkled, but also blouses and shirts too. So this one's a little more expensive, but it does work a little faster. But yeah, it's just a nice way to sort of like, it steams and irons at the same time, but I more so just love it for that ironing factor. And then this third option isn't a steamer, it's more of an iron, and this is what I call the flat iron for your clothing. So it works the same way a flat iron works for our hair. And what I love about it is that it gets the wrinkles out of the front and the back at the exact same time. And it's really easy to use. You pick your fabric type, and then you can add water too if you ever want to, you know, add steam just like you would with an iron. But it works very quickly and easily, folds up compact for travel. And then the other nice thing is the design of this with that pointed head makes it really easy to iron, you know, your collar or around buttons or maybe the cuff on sleeves. So just a good design of it, but this is another really good one too. Number 17 is the best fabric shaver that I have tested. There's a lot out there on the market. There's one that's on Amazon that has a ton of reviews. I tested that one and it was okay, but this one, in my opinion, is so much better. So if you need a good fabric shaver for those sweaters that get pilly, or honestly, you can use this on your couch cushions if they get that way. I know ours do sometimes. Pillows, you know, any type of fabric that starts to get the pills on it, you wanna give it a good little fabric shave. This, in my opinion, is the best fabric shaver. And then lastly, number 18, you may have seen this going around. This is to insert the cups back into sports bras, because why in 2025 are we still dealing with sports bras where the inserts of the cups come out? I don't know, can they just sew them in? But until they do, this is a very nifty little gadget. So all you're gonna do is wrap the insert around it, stick it in where it goes, open it up, and then it will unfold into place so you don't have to wrestle with putting them back in by hand. So it is a pain, but this at least makes it a lot easier. If you have sports bras with removable cups, this is worth grabbing. All right, and that does it. Just some of my tried and true favorites for organizing our closet. Again, everything's gonna be linked in the description below. Let me know in the comments what area you need help organizing and what we should tackle next.